Happy Saturday. So I can't stress to you enough the reality that I am not a professional. I am just a guy that is sharing his fat loss experiences with other endomorphs. I have had a great amount of success when I wasn't lifting. It's always been very difficult for me to cut while lifting. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to figure all this out now. Collecting data, researching, doing all the things that I always say that each individual that watches these videos should do for themselves. I cannot do that for you. I can't learn your body for you, but I just want to stress to you, I am not a professional. I'm not trying to sell any gimmicks or anything. You can take what I say and you can do as you want with it. You don't have to do anything that I'm sharing on these videos. This is just me regurgitating my experiences and my knowledge of things that have helped me achieve success. Now, in the realm that I'm in right now with the lifting and trying to cut, I'm having the same challenges that anyone else would have. That's why I make the video saying what I'm doing, keeping it real. You know, a year ago, I was much leaner than I am right now, but I was also much weaker than I am right now and flatter. I had a flatter appearance. I am fatter now, but I had a flatter appearance because I was not lifting. The protocols that I have used to get down to 10% has been at a time where I was not lifting weights. I had left weights alone because I realized that it was putting up roadblocks, you know, to my fat loss. And I know that now. I had to come to grips with that when I started this lifting phase that I started last year, June. But, you know, just understand, I'm not a professional, and I'm not trying to act like I'm a professional either. I'm just sharing advice, you know, so let's not get it twisted. Let's not get confused or anything like that. I'm not a poser. I'm not anyone trying to act like they're a fitness pro. I don't have a background in exercise science or anything like that. All I have is experience, factual experience that I have, that kept data on, that has gotten me results in the area of fat loss outside of the lifting and doing all these different things that I've been doing for the last year. That stuff has put weight on me, and some is good, some is bad, but you know, that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to, you know, figure out how to, you know, cultivate an aura of consistent fat loss to get back down to 10%, just like everybody else that's watching these videos, hopefully, that's an endomorph. And as I've said before, if you're not an endomorph, I don't think what I have to say is going to be any good for you unless you're looking for like motivation or some workout ideas, just the general things. I don't think that this stuff is going to help you if you're not an endomorph, because you don't really need it if you're not an endomorph. People that are not endomorphs usually don't struggle with the same kind of things that endomorphs struggle with, because the endomorph body type is a sucky, crappy, horrible body type when it comes to metabolism, fat loss, maintaining your weight, digestive system, all these different things. So let's get back to the information. I walked this morning in my sauna suit, and it just got me thinking, man. You know, it got me thinking about a lot of things that I really can't go into today because there's just not enough time. Maybe I'll do a two-part, I don't know. I'll think about it tonight after I make this video and look it over. But, you know, all week long I wanted so bad to get out there and, you know, like run and ride. And I ran earlier this week, but I felt so burnt out. I'm getting older, so the volume has got to, you know, be played with from week to week. Plus I'm doing twice a week, I'm doing heavy, you know, working up pretty heavy for me. I'm working up pretty heavy in deadlifts, which is, you know, I do today 6 sets of deadlifts, working up to heavy, hopefully over 400. And then one day a week I do squats, 6 sets of squats where I work up over 300. Okay, and that's tough for me. I'm not, you know, I've only been back lifting for a year, and I took years off due to a back injury. So that volume of lifting is really getting in the way of consistently being able to get up in the morning and just go run, or consistently being able to get up in the morning and just go ride my board because I feel like crap in the morning, okay? So, not saying that I want to do those things, but this is what I think I've been getting away from, and I need to touch on, you know, to kind of like elevate the minds of the people that are really trying to get after this fat loss thing. I utilized my Sauna Suit greatly back before when I was cutting. When I had huge amounts of success cutting, I was living in that Sauna Suit. I was consistently walking or running strides, not all crazy, like going out of control, but you know, where I always work. When I walk, I would just walk for at least an hour, and you know, good pace, and usually I would sweat out 2 pounds of water when I walk. Now, same thing, I could go do my strides and keep my heart rate above 145, nothing too egregious, nothing like, you know, 170, 180 on the top end, but you know, 165, you know, running strides for half an hour, and I could come back home and I would have sweat out like 2 pounds. Now, I consistently like doing that because you're relieving your body of a whole bunch of toxins. You know, you're bringing your weight down. So on, you know, in your mind, you're looking at the camera, or you're looking at the scale, and you're thinking, oh, okay, you know, well, heck, every time I do this, it's lowering my weight 2 pounds. So if I do this 10 days in a row, that may not be 10 pounds of fat, but that is 10 pounds over those, you know, 5 days or whatever, or 20 pounds over 20 days. If I can consistently like run in my Sauna Suit for 30 minutes, sweat out 2 pounds, or walk in my Sauna Suit for a little over an hour, lose 2 pounds, you know, you see, you know, what you're looking at that motivational factor. Now you have to be careful, you know, like I say, I wouldn't just go crazy when I would run, because, you know, you can't run like all out sprints in a Sauna Suit for 30 minutes unless you know, I mean, I'm just not recommending that. But what I'm trying to say is this. I don't know all the physiological terminology or anything like that, but I was always able to do a lot more over the course of a span of time, you know, let's just say like a month, when I was consistently, you know, using my Sauna Suit. For one, because I believe, you know, over the course of that month, weight will go down dramatically. You know, not, like I said, not all fat loss, but this is the thing. If you are consistently trimming, you know, 10 pounds off a month, you know, not, you know, even if it's not fat, even if it's just like weight, you know, water weight, even if you're bringing that number down, you know, 10 pounds, you know, if you're looking at this big goal that you have to, you know, do for, you know, 6 months, you want that 10 pounds weight loss, you know, a month through water, because that's bringing your weight down. And if you're heavy, that's relieving a lot of pressure on your joints and making your workouts easier. So basically what I'm getting to is this. I do want to ride and I do want to run in the same days, but I think that is going to be something that is very, very like, that I'm just gonna have to get under control, because realistically, I really feel like I am benefiting more from doing like my Sauna Suit runs and my Sauna Suit walks because of the span of time. You know, like I said, if I'm here day one, and then in 30 days, because I've been training with my Sauna Suit and all that stuff, and I've been consistently sweating out 2 pounds every day, if my food is under control, then that month later, I'm gonna be a minimum of 10 pounds lighter, because you have another 10 days that you could stack on top. I mean, think about it. I'm not saying you're gonna do this every single day. You're gonna take days off, but let's just, you know, calculate 10 days. Okay, now under the restraints of good eating, now let's just look at 10 days. If I, you know, do 5 days at a time, I'm taking 10, like I said, it may not be fat loss pounds, but I'm taking 10 pounds off my body over the course of that 10 days if I'm eating right, okay? No matter what, my body is like reducing 10 pounds out of it because of this constant exertion of walking in my sauna suit or running or doing strides in my sauna suit. Now, if you do that, let's just say you do that, if you're taking 10 pounds out of your body, you know, over a course of 30 days, let's just say, you know, let's just say that each 10 days is 10 pounds. So that's basically 5 out of 10 days. Then, let's just say it's 30 pounds over the course of a month that you are, you know, draining out of your body through like water weight. Cut that in half, 15 pounds, okay? Let's just say you keep 15 of that off per month, just, you know, by using the water weight methods, you know, using your sauna suit, walking in your sauna suit. 15 pounds lighter the next month, you are going to have a much, much easier time getting your workouts done because of the pressure and the mass on your body. I'm telling you, it's harder when you're heavier to exercise. Just like when I ride my board, it is harder now for me to ride my board than it was for me back in 2013 when I was way lighter and lighter body fat and less body fat. Way easier to ride my board. So max load, you want to focus on that max load numbers. Okay, so basically what I'm recommending is, hey, you know, get on your grind, get a sauna suit. I suggest, you know, again, and I've talked about this in other videos, walking your sauna suit. Now remember, I'm not saying that I'm not going to do my thing that I was talking about last week. I'm not saying that. I am saying that, you know, I need to get into a rhythm of, you know, maybe it's the day after weightlifting. You know, maybe I should do an active rest morning walk after the day I lift to, you know, wash out all those toxins, help my body recover, you know, that type of thing. You know, maybe that'll be what it is. But I think at least, you know, I'm thinking, you know, at least maybe 3 days out of the week I need to be doing like a sauna suit walk and a sauna suit run to get that 2 pounds out. And then, you know, on the days where I do the run, I'll do the riding afterwards. But you know, I'm trying to do that twice a week. You know, but like I said, man, you know, I've said this before, I'm not a young guy, man. I'm getting older. You know, so I can't do the crazy amounts of volume the kids can do. You know, I get tired, man. You know, you know, and I'm a parent. I got a life. You know, I'm not just like, I'm playing with my kid, I'm running around, I'm washing dishes. I'm a parent. You know, I have, you know, I'm cleaning a house. You know, I am a man. I'm a grown man with a family. You know, that has, you know, that is actively taking care of his child and, you know, doing other things besides just worrying about like losing fat. Losing fat is not the cornerstone of my life. My son is. So it's like, you know, I'm trying to do the best I can and share the information that I can with my walk. And, you know, don't ever think that I'm not like happy, because I'm very happy with the position that I'm in. I'm way stronger than I was last year. So, you know, you got to take the goods with the bads, man. Yeah, the weight gain came, but I'm way stronger than I was last year. And ultimately that was my objective. I was smaller and leaner for several years, for like 3 years, and I, you know, woke up one day and I was like, man, I look really flabby for someone that's so light in weight. You know, I gotta get my strength back, because I've been this strong guy ever since I was a kid. I've always been like strong. I've always been, you know, deadlift hella weight, squat hella weight, bench hella weight, my whole life. So, you know, in a sense, you know, a lot of my like identity was like kind of like extracted from my life, and that's just me keeping it real. But, you know, if you're an endomorph, you gotta sweat. It's that simple. You gotta sweat if you're an endomorph. Yes, you can do it without a sweat, but I do not think that it is beneficial for you to leave those sweat pounds on the table. Now you gotta hydrate yourself right now, you know, don't go crazy. You know, I'd look up, you know, as I always say, I'd research about walking in a sauna suit, different things like that. There's scientists out there that talk about it. Man, I can't remember her name, but there's a woman, there's a doctor that Dr. Rhonda Patrick, she talks about the benefits of like sitting in saunas and using those and everything like that for like your health. And all these other things. So look up Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Matter of fact, Mike Matthews did a very good interview with her where she's talking about these methods. But I've been using these methods for years. But you know, and I trust them. But I hydrate. You know, I drink a lot of fluids throughout the day. You know, I'm all your gallon a day. You know, on a bad day, if I'm not feeling it, a half a gallon. You know, of water minimum. So you know, you have to be actively hydrating yourself all the time. But this video is getting really long. I just stress to you that, you know, like I said, endomorphs, you should use the Sauna Suit. You know, I think that the weights, you know, I think that factor of sweating out weight is going to help an endomorph greatly, because it helped me a lot in the past. And I kind of get wound up in these things where I'm like, oh, well, I'll try the weights for, you know, a few weeks and I won't do the Sauna Suit. And I've been doing that for a while. You know, I've been just like, oh, you know, I'll do all these other things. And in all reality, I have been staying away from the things that got me to 10%. And I don't know why. You know, you just want to try different things. So, yeah, video's working on 16 minutes. Happy Saturday.